Friends, this is Ashok Mamtani here, and I welcome you to all on our school YouTube channel, APSE Classes. I request you also to subscribe this channel. In this video, I am starting your class 12th informatics practice syllabus with the chapter on MySQL. You have already studied this chapter in class 11th, where you have understood about some basic SQL commands. You learn how to create the database tables and writing simple SQL queries. Now you also learned about the MySQL functions. Now in this chapter you are going to learn another category of MySQL functions called aggregate functions, how they are helpful in our SQL programming, and you will also learn about grouping of the records and also joining of the two tables and getting the information from the two tables. So let's begin with recalling the order by clause. Order by clause is used by all of us for arranging the records either in ascending or descending order. The syntax of using the order by clause is as follows. In this, we have to specify the column name and ascending and descending order. ASC is used for ascending and the DSC is used for the descending. The default is ascending, so in case you do not, in case you require the order of ascending, you do not need not to write ASC, but for descending you have to write DSC. Let us try to understand this with an example on a student table. This is your student table in which some records are arranged already there. I am showing this table in MySQL. Now if I want to arrange these records, if I want to arrange these records of the name students name wise in ascending order of alphabetic, then I can write a query like this way: select star from students order by name, and I will get this output as follows. Let us see it in the SQL. See, the records are arranged in the ascending order of the names, in the alphabetic order of the names. You can use the descending order also. For ascending you need not to write ASC for ascending you need not to write ASC here, that is optional. If you write ASC also, even then you will get the ascending order. You can also sort on the marks descending order. Order by marks. So in this way you can get the result either in ascending or descending order. This is shown here in descending order. Now order by clause can be also used for ordering the data on multiple columns. Suppose you want to perform the order of the students section wise in the ascending order and then marks in the descending order, then you can also write this query in this way and you will get the answer in this way. First, the records will be arranged in the ascending order according to the section wise. This is section wise they will be arranged, and when the section will be the same, they will be arranged by the marks wise according to the marks. This we can do this also. select star from students, order by section. Now it section order by section, and marks descending. So you have seen that this is the ordering of the records on the multiple columns. First the records are in ascending order, and if the section is same, then the marks is used as a criteria for sorting, and the order for marks is in the descending, so you will get the orders are arranged in the descending order on the marks in the same section. Let us now move to the next section of the chapter. Now here we are going to learn how can we order the data on the basis of some expression. The order by clause allows us to include the mathematical expression to order the result set by it. However, to arrange the result set on the basis of a mathematical expressions, one should preferably include the mathematical expression in the selector also, so that it becomes easy to comprehend the list. For example, you want to suppose arrange the records of a table student on the basis of the half of their marks in the ascending order. So you can write a query, select name marks 0.5 from student order, and then you will get the all the students ordered on the marks with their half of their values. Let me show you this thing. You will write the select, then you will write the name and the marks of the students with divided by with the multiplied by with the 0.5 value, and in order by you will write the expression. So instead of only field name you can write an expression also, and with the value of the expressions on that column the field will be sorted. One can also use the table column alias in the this in writing this query, and then use that column alias for the sorting. That is select name comma marks into 0.5 as term 1. Suppose I want to give this as term 1 marks from student order by term 1 marks. So it will be ordering the marks on the basis of term 1 marks column alias. The thing is that we can include the column aliases in the table also. Now next, moving to the topic that you can specify the custom order of sorting in MySQL with the order by clause. Suppose you want to have arrange that some data as per your own specified order. That is, if you want to specify the order of sorting on your own, instead of ascending or descending, you want to arrange the records on the basis of some field according to your own customized order. So Python allows us to do this thing using the field function. For example, there is a column called project in our table student that is storing the status of the each projects. The projects can be either pending, the projects of the status of the students can be either pending, assigned, evaluated, submitted, or null. Null means the still it is not is been assigned any project. Now if you want to arrange these records on the basis of project status, and the possible values in this are already given. If you want to arrange the result set on the basis of this project status column, and the order of sorting you want is that suppose first evaluated comes, then pending, and then submitted, and then assigned. So you can do this thing by using the field function. Let us show you how this field let us show you how we can use the field function with the order by clause. In this you will specify the order by field, then you will specify that specific column on the basis of which you want to do the ordering, and then you will specify the values on the basis of which you want to do the ordering. Let us see it in example of our case. We have a table, and in this table we are write this query with using the field function, and we will get output as such. See here, the query return is select star from student order by field. I have used the field function. These brackets denote that I am using the function. Now in this I will specify first that field of the table on the basis of which I want to sort, and then in these values I am specifying the values in the order in which I want the sorting. That is, I want first evaluated, then pending, and then submitted, and then assigned. Okay, so first you see the evaluated, pending, submitted, and assigned. Null is not considered in this because null is not considered any value by the user, so it will be first coming in the output. Let me show you this programmatically in the MySQL. See, this is a table given to you, and I am writing the query this select star from student order by field. Then I will specify the project status, the field of the name of the field, and then evaluated, pending, submitted, the order in which I am writing these values will be deciding my sorting sequence. See now that first evaluated, those having the project status evaluated records are coming first, then pending, and then submitted, and then assigned. So this is how this program is going to, that this field function helps us to do customized sorting. Now next we move to the next topic is now we are moving to the MySQL functions. MySQL functions are already learned by you in class 11th also. In that class you have learned only the one category of the functions, that is the called scalar functions. These functions were working in such a way that they work upon the individual rows of a table, and they give the individual values for the each and every row of the table. For example, you have seen, yeah, you have used at that time round function, which when applied to the any column, numeric column of a table, it will be giving the rounded value for the each and every row of the table. Such functions were at that time were divided into three main categories: string functions, numeric functions, and date and time functions. Such functions were only working on these tables, and they are giving their values for the individual rows. So that is why such functions were called as single row functions. But now in this class 12th we are moving to the another category or another group of functions, which are called aggregate functions or group functions. Okay, they work upon the group of rows or records and return a single aggregate value for that entire function. For example, some function which will I now going to start, we are going to discuss with you in a little short while. These functions will be help you to do various write to various types of MySQL queries also. The following are the aggregate functions which we are going to discuss in this chapter: sum, average, max, min, and count. Such functions are also called the multiple row functions because they are applied on a single they are sorry applied on a group of rows and records, and they return a single value. So finally we have the two categories of the functions in MySQL. Number one is single row functions or scalar functions. These functions with those work with a single row at a time, and they return a result for every row of the query table. Second category of functions are MySQL aggregate functions or group functions which work upon the multiple rows at a time. That is why they are called the multiple row functions, and they return a single aggregate value. Now let us move to learn these functions one by one. First, sum function. The sum function is basically used to do the sum of values in a given column or expression. For example, I want to find the sum of the marks of a student, so I can write this function as follows. Let me show you. Then I can write sum, and then in the sum I will write the field on the for which I want to do the sum. So you will provide the numerical column and numerical field for this only. You are not, obviously you will not use any date field or any work care field for this from student. So in this way you are getting the sum of the all the student. Now in this, null value will not be added, it will be treated as a zero. You will get the sum of all the values. That is, if a null value is encountered in such a case, then it will not give you any value. You can use the distinct also with the sum, and it will at that time avoid the repetition of the values. That is, if any value is already coming, then it will not going to use it for addition. So in the above case you will see that the two students, if have the same marks, suppose the two students have the same 95 marks, this only one will be added. From student we will going to write it 95 marks of the, so because the 95 is coming twice, so it will be stop the repeating of the marks to be added. If you write all, then it will not, it will do the as it was doing all the marks earlier. Okay, so you can use distinct also with in this case. I hope you have understood the sum. Okay, you can apply the conditions also with this sum. For example, you want the sum of the marks of only those students who are in stream arts. So you can do this in way that select sum of the marks from student where stream equal to arts. So in this way you can do the sum of the marks. Okay, I hope you have now understood, and you can apply the conditions as you were applying the conditions earlier in the basic queries. The same way you can also apply the conditions here also. I hope this is clear to you. Now the second function is the average function. This function also is used to perform the average of the given data. For example, if I want to find out the average marks of the students in a student table, I can do this by writing the select average marks from student. See here, I am writing here the same query here, select average marks from student. See, I am getting the average marks here. In this case also I can use distinct keyword. Sorry, the space I have not given. See, if I use the distinct, then 95 will not be considered, and then the average will be taken from the, if null value is also there, for example, it will be calculating, if the null value is there, it will be only calculating the sum of all these and divided it by the students in the 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So there are 7 students, so it will be the value divide sum of all these value will be divided by 7 and not by 8. That is, the null is not considered in this case. You can also use the all keyword with the average function. So I hope you have now understood the select and average functions. Next, similarly in this way we have the max and function which find the maximum value in a data range or in an expression. For example, if I want to find out the maximum marks of a student, then it will give me the value of 95. Okay, and there is a one more function called minimum, which finds the minimum value from a given column. So in this example I can see that the it is sum min max is showing you numbers. Lastly, we have in a given column or expression. This function can be used in following three forms. If I use count star, it will count all the number of rows in the record in the table, including the null and duplicate values. Let me show you how this is doing. Suppose I want to count all the records in a table. Select star from student. This is the table to us, and I want to count all the records. You see there are 8 records in a table. So using this count function I can find out all the records of the table. I will write count star. It will count all the records of the table. It will be showing you the total number of records in the table. If I write the count and the name of the field, then it will return only the number of rows that do not have the null value. If the null value is there, it will going to ignore it. For example, if I write count marks, then it will show you one record less, because in a marks we have a null which will be not counted in this record will not be counted, because if we specify the field name, then it will count only those which are not null. It will exclude the null values, but though it will count the duplicate values. If you want to avoid the duplicate values, counting of the duplicate values, you will write distinct marks. So you will get here only 6, because 95 is coming twice, so it will avoid the counting of 95 again. So repetition of the same marks will not be counted. So null and duplicate values are ignored in the distinct. In star, all the values will be counted, including null and duplicates. And in when a field name is specified, it will count only the values without any duplicate. For example, if you want count the project status, if you want to count on the project status, distinct project status, suppose, so can you tell me what value it will give? See, you are getting only 1 2 3 4. You will get only the answer 4. So in this way the count table is working. So the count function works. This is a very useful function, and sometimes many questions comes on these aggregate functions in your exam. And second most thing is that you can apply the conditions also. Let us do some queries on this table to understand more these aggregate functions. For example, I want to give a query that I want to find the sum of the marks of all those students who belongs to section A or B. I can write this query as select sum marks from student where section name is section is equal to A or section equal to B. See, it will find the sum of both the section A or B. Similarly, we can also write find the maximum marks in the science stream. Find the maximum marks in the science stream. So I will write the query select max marks from student where stream equal to science. So in this way, this aggregate functions help us. Similarly, we can also find the average, and that if I want to count only those records which have arts, which have only number of students who have taken art, I want to count. So I will write the query is select count star from student where stream equal to arts. So it will count only those records which have the arts. So this simple queries can also help you. Functions are also helping you to write all the queries. I hope now the aggregate functions are clear to you. Now I am moving to the next topic, that is the group by clause. After studying the aggregate functions in MySQL, we can use these functions knowledge in solving the can be used in solving the group segments to divide the table into groups. That is, we can write a query which is dividing the table into a groups, and then we can perform the sum queries on the basis of the column name or aggregate functions is, in which case the aggregate functions will produces a value for the each group. Let us try to understand the group by clause with some situations. Let us consider a table employee. In this table, suppose I want to find out the number of employees in each department, so I can find out using the grouping of these records. I actually will group the records according to their department wise, and then will apply the count function to count in the in number of employees in the each. So this, for this I have to use the group by clause, or any other sum. Let us have one more situation. Suppose I want to find out the sum of the salaries of the employees for each department. Even then I want to do the grouping of the records into the sum groups. I will make the group of the all the records of the table on the basis of its department. So the grouping is helping us to solve the various types of queries. Let us now try to understand the some things related to how can we write the group by clause. For example, if I want to count the number of employees in each department wise, how can I write the query? That I select, I will write here the department name and then count star. This will be the counting from student group by. See, try to understand this query group by department. Now let us try to understand this query, what it is doing. Unknown column, okay, department from student. I have written the wrong, I have written student, it should be emp. See the output. Now it is showing you that there are accounts, electrical, HR, IT and production and sales department, and these are the number of employees in this department according to this table. Let us try to understand this query, what is doing. If I write only select count, if I am giving the query select count star, from emp, it will going to count all the records, okay. But if I want to count the number of employees in each department, so what I do is that I make a grouping on the basis of the department field, and for that I will write group by department. Now since I am grouping on the department, I have to display the department also, so I have to write in the select part the department also. So this how query I have to write. So similarly, if I want to find out the sum of the salaries of the employees department wise, I will write the query as follows: select department, comma, then sum of the salary, then sum of the salary field I will write here from employee group by department, okay. So this is how the group by clause helps us to grouping of the records. It will really help us to write various number of queries. We can also have some other examples which will help us to understand. We can use also grouping on the basis of post also we can do. For example, if I ask to say that find the average salary of all the employees who are manager, so I can write this query as follows. Select, suppose I want to find out for first all the employees, I will write select the post, then average salary from EMP group by post. So it will be finding the average salary for the clerk, managers and president and salesman. Now I can apply the where clause also before the grouping. Here I can apply the where post equal to manager. So you can see that it will first find only for the managers and then it will show you the. So this is how we can write use the where clause also with the grouping. Now next is where clause. I already told you can use it. You can also use the order by clause also with the group, but it should be used after the group by clause for ordering the records. For example, I want to show the order by on the basis of select department, then maximum salary from EMP group by post department, order by department DESC. Now by default it will show you the ascending order, but if I want to show it in the departments in the descending order, then I can use order by department descending. So you can use the order by clause also with the group by clause. Now the last point is that you never use the non-group expression with the grouping field. Here I am showing you only those fields in the output which are group applicable. For example, if I try to show the field name, then it is a non-group expression. If I try to display the name in this section, it will going to for example, with the salary of the employees, I show the name from group by department, then it will give me it is giving me an error because I am using a non-group expression name here. See, what is happening is here that I cannot group on the name wise because name is very different from each and every. So there are certain only fields on the basis of which we can do the grouping. If I, if I try to do the grouping on name, then only the first name in the group will be taken and then moved. So this is the non-group expression should be avoided in the expressions. You can place the conditions on the group using the having clause. It is used to place the conditions on after the grouping of the records. How can you put the grouping of the records? For example, if you have grouped all the employees of a and by the department wise, and you want to see only those employees salary whose sum of the salary is 10,000 or more than 1 lakh or any other figure, so you can write here also. For example, select star from select department sum of salary from employee group by department. Now this will going to show you the salary of all the departments and their sum. But if you want to see only those and salary of only those departments whose sum of salary is more than 1 lakh, so you will write having sum of salary greater than 1 lakh. So in that case only those department whose sum of the salary is more than 1 lakh will be going to show. So we can apply the having clause on the groups after the grouping is done. The having and where or both are used for putting the conditions on the having clause, but still they have some differences. The where clause is specifying the criteria on the individual records and it must be applied before the grouping, whereas having is a clause which is used to apply the conditions on the group, so it is always used after the grouping. The where clause cannot contain the use of aggregate functions, but with the having clause you can have the use of aggregate functions. So these are the some differences which you must follow having and where clause. Next is that you can do the grouping on the multiple columns. That is, you can apply the grouping of the records on a column, and then again you can do the subgrouping on the next column. For example, if you want to find out the sum of the salaries of the employees department wise, and then in each department you want to know the sum of the salary on the post wise, so that you can write a query which is doing the nested grouping or grouping on multiple columns. What you will write will be select department sum of salary group by department, and then in that department you will be grouping on the basis of their post. So here you will write all the things in output: department, post, and sum. So again I am repeating. For example, if you want to do the sum of the salaries for the each post in each department, and you have to do nested grouping or grouping on the multiple columns, you first group on the departments. You will write group by department in the query, comma, you will further want to do grouping on the post, so you will write comma post. So this is how you can do the multiple grouping also in my grouping on multiple columns, or nested grouping in MySQL also. See, it is showing you the accounts department clerk salary, then electrical department the managers have sum of salary, then in the electrical department some of the electrical secretaries, all the secretaries salary, and so on. We can have all these things. Let us now move to the next topic of our, that is the joining query.